And welcome back to the Shit Behind the Show, everyone. So, before I get started, just want to throw out the gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who like, subscribe, follow. Please go find me on YouTube, Tana Blonde. I post all of my podcasts on there now, and I love the feedback. Watching me on video is a little bit different. I edit a lot out with the podcast, and I do add extra little snippets and shorts in with the videos of the podcast. So also you can find me on Facebook, The Shit Behind the Show, Instagram, The Shit Behind the Show, TikTok, Shit Behind the Show, and Tana Blonde. Both names are there. I don't understand what's going on, but hey, it's TikTok. I do go live a lot on TikTok. I just started to do that. And I love reconnecting with everyone. I have found myself working my day job and trying to get that going, plus podcasting and some other things that I'm working on. So I'm in my office most of the time. If I'm not in my office, I'm with my guy or my kids. Haven't even really seen my friends much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it is like to follow your dreams and be an entrepreneur. You're welcome. You don't have much of a life. No, I love my life. I'm so grateful for it. And I'm grateful for all of you. So let's dive back into relationship with self. It is important as you are going along this journey to make sure you check in with yourself. Make sure you have those days where you take a step back and you're like, okay. And for me, it's while I'm working out in the mornings. I like to listen to my favorite podcasts, or Abraham Hicks or Joe Dispenza, a lot of the law of attraction talk, positive affirmations, things like that. I'm a nerd that way. I love to listen to my favorite therapist, Sven Erlandson. You can find him on any podcasting platform as well. I love his book, There's a Hole in Your Love Cup. I love Angry Therapist. He has a book called Single on Purpose, which is a book that I read when I started my self-love journey and reflection. So I recommend that you go check those books out. And a lot of how I got there is using those tools, but also checking in with myself and taking a step back and just thinking, while I'm listening to these audiobooks, while I'm reading, while I'm working out, while I'm taking my bubble baths, while I'm on my canyon drives, meditating, whatever, is I really take a step back and think, okay, how am I feeling right now? And not just in this moment, but in life, period. How am I taking care of myself? Maybe that's the physical, the mental, emotional. What can I do to improve my self-care practices? What's the next step? I've mastered this and it's helping me out, but what is the next step to that? And how satisfied do I feel in my personal and professional relationships? Do you need to leave someone behind? Is someone maybe not going along the same path that you're going? Do they not really align with your end goal? I know it's really hard to let people go, but there are times that you want more for yourself and they are not feeding that fire within and they are not aligning with you. You will also see, especially in romantic relationships, that the more self-work that you do and the more that you love this person inside and you're taking care of that inner child, you will find that you are attracting different people, but you also desire different things about people. The man that I was looking for 10 years ago is very different from the man that I am looking for and have today. I did write down, once I started my self-love journey and started healing the inner child and helping her, I realized there are different attributes that I was seeking and that I see in my guy than 10 years ago. I see it very differently, and there are different things that I wanted in a guy, and I made a list and I read it all the time, and he does have everything that I was seeking on that list. He is also one of the guys that I dated along this path. We have both evolved and changed and corrected and aligned with one another in a way that is just awesome, and I'm very proud of us. but it didn't come without me. I can't speak for him, but it didn't come without me taking a step back and just thinking on the daily, is this person really fulfilling in my life? Are they going to be someone that I can see when I meet that end goal, supporting me and being there? Most of the time it is a no. And you will find that there are days that it's so lonely. There's no outside validation because you're so busy working on this inside. And before you learn to not need the outside validation and to just validate yourself, it feels pretty lonely and weird and kind of backwards at first. What is taking the most time out of your day? Is it doing something that you really love? Are you spending the day doing things that make you sing? Maybe you need to switch up careers. I've loved where I was for years, but it just wasn't aligning with where I wanted to be in life. I started the coaching and the podcasting and just created this platform for myself to help others, and that is so what makes my heart sing. And there are a lot of people that didn't believe in that I had to leave behind. Do you feel connected to something that is valuable, that you feel is important to this person? Really keep asking yourself these questions and really dive into, am I on the right path? You can set the path. You can say you want to discover yourself and be on this loving journey of self, but if you're not applying the tools and if you're not really diving into it every day, like I've said before, it's like going to the gym. The mind is a muscle, the heart is a muscle, and you've got to exercise it on a daily. And if you're not doing so, if you're just listening to a podcast, if you're listening to Christine talk some shit about how great it is to love thyself, but you're not applying it, you're not doing it, then you're not going to see the results. So really check in with yourself. Practice self-care. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Maybe that's going on a diet and just, feeling healthier. Physical activities, lots of downtime and rest, recreation. I know for me, speaking of rest, I have the hardest time relaxing. Or I did. It's getting better for me after having a major organ removed. I had no choice it was about 10-week recovery. So I had no choice for a while, but I have weekends now with my guy where it's pretty quiet and quote unquote boring. I love our life, but I know there are a lot of days that I'm just kind of chilling all day and kind of being lazy and resting. And I'm telling him, like, I feel so unproductive and it really eats at me. It's really hard for me to just sit. And he's like, babe, you have to have those days. You know this. And I'm like, I know. And he just reminds me, you've got to have downtime. You've been working your ass off. He tells me that all the time. You go all week. You work your ass off all week. The weekends are for you to relax and enjoy. And he's so very right. And I'm getting better at this, but it is really difficult for me. So I'm one of those people that rest is like one of those things that I'm like, it's really hard, ADD. Mental habits are just the foundation of basic self-care. I talk about self-affirmations and meditating and just being kind to yourself. That is the foundation. Cheer yourself on. You are your number one cheerleader, and make sure you continue to do that. If you want it, ask for it. Make sure you are having people around you that support you. So if there's something that you are in need of, if is something that you need to explore, if you need help in any way, make sure you ask. Make sure you find those people and cultivate the relationship with those that are supportive and loving. I know it's really hard for some to understand your way of thinking because, again, as you're evolving and you're creating this self-awareness and self-love, people are going to fall away. because they don't feel the same about themselves, and they don't recognize that what you're doing is greatness. They see it as self-absorbed. Uh, I've been told, I actually was told on social media one time to pull my head out of my ass. Who do I think I am, starting a podcast and trying to tell people how to run their life? Okay, that's your opinion, bro. It was really cruel, actually. And I all I could do was think, you don't like who you are, and that's why you're attacking me, and that's fine. That is so important also to gain this outer shield and protective coating of, you're not coming at me, and if you do, it's not going to penetrate. I had an instance last year where a woman did get through that shield, and it was at a very dark time in my life and a very hard time. And I'm very confident that it is because she comes from a place of self-doubt, and she doesn't love who she is because she tried to break down who I am and really take away my self-love. And obviously it didn't work out. We parted ways. But it was really hard. It was that negativity and toxicity is really hard for me to be around now, because I try to ride the positive train. I do have my days. My guy would tell any of you, she has her days, and he definitely has to pick me up. And he doesn't have to, he does it. And it's not always perfect. And I know it's a choice. So I'm not just telling you, oh, I have it perfected and you need to do what I do. I'm human. You're human. You're going to have your moments where you're like, fuck, I fell down again. But guess what? Tomorrow's a new day and you can get right back up. So it's okay. Have grace for yourself. But just continue on the same path. Don't give up. Be curious and accepting. Recognize that change is inevitable. Whether you are on this path or not, change is happening all around you on the daily, every year. And just embrace it with no fear. You know, make sure that if there's change coming about, you are seeing the opportunity in it, you're embracing it, you're excited about it. Yes, this means new adventures, this means new things, this may mean new people in my life. I may need different relationships and people in my life and different tools to get there. But just be accepting of it. Be curious. What's around the corner? What does the universe have in store for me now? It's so exciting if you think of it that way. And cultivate an optimistic attitude and behavior. That, my friends, is hard. I've been known to be OCD in the past, very much a perfectionist, and that isn't life. That's really hard. And it's hard to think like change is inevitable and be positive about it, because if you've ever been in that OCD headspace, we don't appreciate change a lot. We want everything the same and we want everything perfect at all times. And if it isn't that way, we're always worried what other people are going to think or what we're going to think of ourselves. And it's so difficult. It's so difficult to overcome. Having 3 boys really helped me a lot. Running around for sports, tearing up my house. There's no room for perfection in that area, okay? Your house, your life is going to be chaotic at all times. So that helped me a lot. Still have it a little bit in me, but that helped me cure that a lot years ago. So also setting goals that we can achieve, little tiny goals, will help build the foundation for the big goals. You know, maybe it's, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym 3 to 4 days a week. Start moving into that. Start setting that goal and do it. For the time that you maybe have a little bit of a setback, make sure you get back on track. Don't derail yourself and just say, well, I failed, I'm not going to do it. Nope, get back on track, get back up, you're fine. And if you ever find yourself thinking, okay, I didn't reach my goals this week, you will find that it carries over into the next week unless you make a conscious decision to start over and next week is a new week. I have grace for myself. I'm fine. which is, again, be kind to yourself. It doesn't mean, okay, well, I didn't work out last week or the week before, I'm fine. No, because you're not, that's a disservice to yourself. You're not putting in the work and effort and chipping away to get to that goal. That is not what I'm saying by being kind to yourself. You need to hold yourself accountable and be responsible for getting back on track, but still praise yourself and cheer yourself on without justifying toxic behaviors, without saying, okay, well, it's because of A, B, C, and D that I didn't get to the gym. You know, it's raining outside, or I have a headache, so I'm okay. No, it's okay. I may have a headache today, and yesterday I didn't make it. I'm going to be kind to myself and say, okay, I made an excuse, no more excuses. Tomorrow's a new week, and I'm going to make sure next week I work out an extra day to make up for last week. But just be kind. Don't have the negative self-talk. Don't put yourself down. Don't feel like you've just completely fallen apart and you're never going to make it. Just remember, I'm human. I'm going to crack the whip on myself, and I'm going to try to reach this goal piece by piece, mile by mile. And again, you will learn a lot about yourself, especially if it's something on the daily. Like I said, going to the gym, maybe it's a goal with your career. Maybe it's college, learning a new technique. I've been studying NLP, and I should have been further on the course than I am right now. And it's really hard for me because I'll look back and I'm like, oh, I've only completed this many not modules of the course. I should have been farther along. It's creating this mindset of, okay, yes, you should have been farther along, but you are working on other goals in life. You will get there. It's just a little bit at a time. Maybe it's an hour at a time, but just make sure you are exploring all of those areas in your life that, okay, this is where I want to be. Where am I? And really just be kind to yourself about it, but push yourself. And really create an attitude of gratitude. You probably have heard in life that 90% of how you handle things and how things turn around and the outcome is how you see it and the gratitude that you have. So I just went the longest way of that. But having an attitude of gratitude will help you accomplish so many things in life. Being grateful for what you do have instead of focusing on what you don't have. Being grateful for how far you've come instead of focusing on how far you still have to go is so important. And just be grateful for who you are and where you're at and everything that you have in life. And you will see that it's so much easier to develop that optimistic personality and attitude and to keep going down the path that you are going down. Remember that everyone has something to be grateful for, no matter what it is, no matter if it's what's going great or what isn't, what fell apart. Everyone has something to be grateful for. I know I'm so grateful for all of the times in life that completely just fell to shit. So grateful because they were learning experiences. They made me stronger, more resilient in who I am today. And I simply just would not be the person that I am today without those learning experiences. So for me, I am very, very grateful for the hardships in life. Again, I chose the hardest road possible so I can pave a better road for all of you. You're welcome. And last for today, allow yourself to fail. There is joy in the setbacks. There is learning in failure more than any other aspect of life. And you can always find something to be grateful for. It's not fun. Failure is not fun. No one wants to fail. That word is ugly to most. When we don't get something right the first time, it forces us to step back and reevaluate. It forces us to really look at things and think, okay, so how could I have done this differently? Where can I switch it up next time? And how am I going to get through this failure and make it my bitch instead of it making me its bitch? Wow. I didn't even think before I said that. Anyway, make failure your bitch. I'm going to make a sign for my office that says that. But do make sure that you are not letting it control your life, but you are finding what you can change from the failure. Again, failure is just a redirection in life. It's not really failure. I hate that word. I don't like failed relationships. I like saying expired. I learned that from the Angry Therapist. I really don't like hearing failed. I like hearing, okay, time to switch up. It's time to switch up my course and find something new to discover. So that is important self-talk as well. You didn't fail at this. You're just redirecting your path, and it's okay. It is okay. Find the lesson, be grateful for it. And I promise there's something in everything that you can be grateful for. Thank you again. This is all for today. And until next time, love you all. Bye.